And some could say it was in a worse place. Was it in Ohio?
Comments like that, I can't stick around. I gotta get out of here.
Leia.
And she's gone.
Look at her dragging her mouse across the screen.
Mega, like, here's the thing. Mega's been moving, like, this is the most I've seen Mega move her VTuber model this entire, like, before the episode started and up until this point now. Like, the most I've ever seen her really move it.
I can literally, that's the thing, is I never get the chance to, but I can move it. There's so much shit I could do with this. And then also the 3D model is sitting somewhere.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm just too lazy to set up VR.
Yeah, remember when we saw that for the first episode of this podcast? Fletch, what'd you do?
I hurt myself.
He hurt his fingy.
Did you hurt your fingy?
I popped a bug bite, I think.
Anyway, now that we're like 3 minutes in, Dex already had to do an edit. You want to do the welcome back thing?
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to edit it. I think I'm just going to title this part the part that gets us canceled.
How about you do edit it? That's a funny idea.
Hunter's like,
but then you're asking
my career to end.
You're asking me to do more work. You could have said anything fucking else.
Listen,
no, you
all
far.
You have to do is cut the first minutes, and I can be like, "Oh, guys, I pulled some Destined Rivals at the convention this weekend. Let me talk about that. My polls."
Listen,
I opened some Destined Rivals on Friday, and I had 5 packs. I pulled 2 Team Rocket's Persian EXs, and nothing else. Nothing else.
I pulled a few things. I did pull the Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Unfortunately, it's not the top card with Giovanni in it.
Yo, Dex, do you like being poor and not having Pokemon cards?
It does look fucking great, though, doesn't it? Look at that bitch. Look at it.
I think we talked about this. I have 1 Pokemon card sitting right next to me. That's it.
You do.
Okay, hey, how about this? We'll talk about Pokemon a little bit later, y'all. Let's actually get this thing started. So we don't get too far down the rabbit hole of Pokemon and other shit that has to do with opening cards. So everyone, welcome back to the 20th episode of For the Love of Prod. As always, I am joined by Huntertain and Megalass, and our guest this week is fellow caster. And our guest this week is fellow caster InTheFletch. Okay, guys, how are we all doing here?
Oh, I'm great. Oh, I'm fantastic.
I'm so sorry.
Listen, this is arguably either the best or worst start to an episode. Either I don't think there's an in between.
It depends on if I edit it or if I don't edit it.
I'm gonna be so real.
Well, buddy, you got a choice.
Not even for Hunter's sake, but for my sake, edit that. I do not want to be. I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Honestly,
I'm gonna probably edit it from the moment he starts saying something to just my reaction, my fucking.
That's fine. Just edit out what he said.
Honestly, just edit it out and then just send me the single clip. All right.
No, I'm getting rid of that off the face of this fucking earth.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
But while our guest is whipping and nay-naying over there. Fletch, we started this last week. Why don't you give a quick introduction of yourself here and what you kind of what you do and what you kind of have done here, so people get to know you a little bit.
I am Fletch. I've been casting for just about 2.5 years now. Basically, that's really all I'm doing right now. I play Pokemon too. I don't just pull packs like we were talking about a little earlier, but like Pokemon a lot. I've been trying to branch out into other games outside of Overwatch because Overwatch is my, bread and butter as it is for, most of us, I would say. But I appreciate y'all finally getting me in here. It's been tough because most of the time I play Pokemon on Monday nights. And go to the locals, so scheduling has been kind of tough the first few times that y'all asked me to come on, but I got into an accident last week and I don't have a car to get to Pokemon tonight, so I'm here now.
So an unfortunate event becomes a fortunate event for us. Sorry about that, Fletch.
We don't know who did it either.
What do you mean you don't know?
Did someone hit your park car?
It was a hit and run. Hey, yeah.
Gotta love Texas.
Nobody asked for my whereabouts when that happened, by the way.
Okay.
Definitely
you-
wasn't
can
the
you- can
Orlando
you,
airport.
like- Can you like control cars in the VTuber space, Mega?
Yeah,
Is that
believe it or
possible?
not, you get in the Tesla Cybertruck, I'm just in there.
That's a crazy feature.
I'm just in the Cybertruck. Believe it or
So
not.
that's one more reason to not buy a Cybertruck.
It's one more reason. I'm uploaded to all Teslas, so that's why you should never buy a Tesla, because otherwise I'll just be there like, hi.
I would just.
I'd-
I feel like
I'd
everyone-
leave. I'd leave. I'd leave.
I think she would keep the doors locked.
She couldn't
No.
stop me.
The doors will unlock only when I've hit 55 miles an hour on the highway. Then you can make your choice. Anyway, I feel like we talk about murder a lot. Dex, we should talk about Fletch's casting
We
career
don't-
here.
No, we'll get into that. We do not talk about murder here. No, we do not. Don't bring that upon us. Let's not start that now.
I love that we're celebrating the big 2-0 this way. I love it.
This is so bad already. I feel so bad.
We can restart. It's not too late.
Nope, not restarting. Not restarting, but Mega does bring up a good point. Mega does bring up a good point here. Fletch, I don't know how often or if you have listened to the podcast before, but we always ask our guests 2 questions. What got you in? What keeps you coming back? So we'll start off with that first one. What got you into doing esports casting and just into esports in general?
Okay, so as 2020, I graduated from high school, right? And I'd been a super competitive person for a very, very long time. I have always hated losing. And unfortunately, in high school, I kind of lost a lot. I played football in high school, and not only did the team suck, but so did my body. I got hurt a lot. And the plan as I was ending my high school career was that I did want to continue to play in college, and I probably could have, but after a discussion with my parents, we came to the decision that it was just best for my health that we did not that I did not move forward with it. I got hurt every season of my high school career, with the exception of my senior season, in which the worst thing that happened was I dislocated my thumb a couple of times, which is relatively minor because I just snapped it back in every time it happened. But once I decided that my future was not going to be in football, it kind of left a void competitively, because I had always wanted to compete and do something in that manner. And I turned to Overwatch, because when I started playing Overwatch, the first time I really got into it was my sophomore year of high school, when I broke my leg. I could not go to school. I was out for the first week of school because I was still recovering from surgery, and I played Overwatch basically that entire week. That was, I want to say, 2018, right after the second Summer Games event. And I really loved Overwatch, and I continued to play Overwatch, lesson here and there, up and down, for a few years until I graduated and I went to my first university, where I joined a console team and started playing played with them for about a year and a half. And it was during that time that I got introduced to the Overwatch League, which I was really excited to watch, because it gave me something to do outside of watching the NFL, watching football, right? And I really, really got into it, so much so that during the summer after my freshman year in university, I was working with my dad back home, and the Dallas Fuel announced the Battle for Texas, the first event that was going to be in person post COVID. And so he took me to that, and that was where I really started to truly love esports, because I have always been kind of a passionate guy. I'm Dex. You saw what I did in both Dallas and Sweden. that's kind of how I've always been.
Not only did I see, but like you were part of video for promotions for OWCS.
I always have been, because that's how I've always been. I was in the hype video post Battle for Texas. The thing that really did make me love everything though was, I think my dad was a little bit off put by my like reactions, but not because of what I was doing, but because he thought that I was bothering the people around us by, jumping up and being hype and all that. But as we were walking out, the people behind me, the people that were sitting behind me at the table, they walked up to me and they said, "Hey man, we really fucking loved your energy, man. We hope to see y'all at the next event." And I was like, "Thank you. I really appreciate that." And that was really what kind of got me hooked, because like I've always loved expressing my emotions through, that way. And as the time continues to pass, right? I go to all these events. I go to, the 2 Battle for Texases that were, in season 5. I go to I go to the Overwatch League playoffs in season 5, and I get to watch the Dallas Fuel win a world championship. Season 6, unfortunately, the Fuel were in Korea, so I didn't get to. I only went to one event there where it was a watch party for the playoffs, where I got to hang out with some of my friends for one more time, and all of that. By the way, see that girl in the blonde wig behind me, to my left. That's my friend Rena. Everybody say hi, Rena. Rena's great.
Here's the other thing. You also have Joker right behind you here.
That's also unfeatured.
Yeah, like there's me, there's MI Blizzard, there's Hippie, there's User Intel. Unfeatured is
There's Headrammer's right at the very edge there, I think.
Yeah, Headrammer's over here. Like this was Dallas last year. Like it was.
Yeah.
This was the first time I met a lot of you guys. But like, I was absolutely shocked to see that, one, you were this animated, and two, they let you just go with it, because it was awesome to see.
Yeah, that's how I've always been, and it's something that I've toned down a little bit now, because I was a little bit over the top when I started casting. This is kind of the energy that I wanted to bring to casting when I started, which I'll go to my casting side now that I've talked about my interest in esports. I was just on the tail end of my time with Steamboat, which was my first team, about a year and a half after I had started. I was no longer. That is one of my favorite pictures of me ever, by the way. I shout out Joe Brady, by the way. He takes some awesome pictures. He's one of the most accomplished esports photographers out there right now, and this guy takes some banger pictures. But Headrammer put out a feeler, or it was somebody years ago in like October of 2022, right before the Overwatch League playoffs. So I, put in my application. Unfortunately, I was not able to do the first tournament, which was like, I think, Turkey Tussle or something. This was right after Overwatch 2 started or came out. But heading into December, I remember vividly my first tournament being the Ramatra Rumble, because I casted 5 first to 2s as my first entry out of a hotel room on a laptop. So that was my first time casting, and I enjoyed it. It was fine. Obviously, I was kind of. My problem was that I didn't talk enough, and as y'all know, that might be kind of an opposite problem for me these days.
Way opposite.
But so I casted here and there for the first few months of 2023, but I think it was like June or July of 2023 that I really started getting into it and started casting with all y'all, and Now I think over the past 2.5 years, I'm closing in on 400 games. I really I love what I'm doing. I love being bring the energy to this kind of stuff. When I stopped competing because my competitive spirit is definitely kind of burnt out at this point. I really wanted some way to interact with the game that was not so reliant on playing it. And of course, casting is a great way for me to do that. I get to talk about a game that I love, and bring my energy to every game that I am a part of, or at least I try to anyway. Sometimes the games don't allow me to do that, unfortunately, but I really do try to be, the best version of me every time I'm on the camera, and I think that I am the best version of me when I'm on camera, when I'm on a microphone, talking about something that I really do enjoy.
Yeah, and I mean, you're kind of already answering the next part of the question with, what kind of keeps you coming back, and it's your love for the game, and you want to stay in like this sort of competitive area of it. But I mean, what else kind of keeps you coming back to doing this a lot? Because we all,
Friends.
yeah, like that. I had the feeling that was gonna be the answer.
Like, obviously, I love the game, but the thing about esports, when I started this, I started this as as something that's like, I just need some other outlet for competition, so I'm going to join this team. I still talk to almost everybody that was a part of that original Steamboat Esports team. We're still good friends, which I really, really appreciate. But when I joined that team, I had no idea what my life was going to become. I had no idea that, I'd be going to California, I'd be going to Sweden. The amount of people that I've met who I genuinely consider good friends of mine at this point, and it really is like, as much shit as me and Mega talk about each other, she is like one of my favorite people in general. Generally, I really enjoy casting with Mega. She and I think, have a great chemistry on the mic. It's kind of sad that we didn't really get to cast as much last season in CGL. We just weren't scheduled at all until the playoffs. But Mega is one of the big reasons. Dex, I love casting with you. Hunter, we don't really cast all that often because you and I tend to prefer play-by-play. But hey, the cast station, that's one of my favorite memories. When my car broke down on a highway when I was going to a homecoming for my first university. I was gonna meet my dad in San Angelo, and my car broke down in the middle of nowhere. So I stopped at a gas station, and I had my laptop, I had my headphones, mic. I joined. I think I had to. I don't remember. It sucks. I don't remember who I had to convince to get off the game to let me cast.
I think it might have honestly been me.
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was. I think it was. I can't remember. It was such a long time ago. That was almost 2 years ago now.
Honestly, the game was just yours. From what I remember, because this was like my first introduction to you, I wanted that game really, really badly because it was
that's
like the
what I
first
thought,
time I'd ever
Mega.
gotten paid, but it wasn't mine at all. And so I was just kind of silently preying on your downfall because we hadn't really known each other yet. But yeah, I mean, then listen,
Okay,
that
then
game
it
was
was
iconic.
Mega.
That
Then
game
it
was
was
iconic.
Mega that I was with the game on, and or that I was trying to jockey for that game with, and ultimately I did end up casting that game from outside of a gas station, which is one of my favorite memories. But all the people that I've met and all the things that I've done, kind of, it's like magnetizes me back. I've been a little bit more busy with, finally I'm at the University of North Texas. I finally have like a real friend group outside of esports, which has kind of taken up a little bit more of my time. Y'all know that I was just kind of available always before, pretty much. So
Thank you, Hunter, for finding this photo.
oh God, I needed a haircut.
Fucking 310 for gas.
God.
Yeah. No,
I love it.
hey, listen, to be fair to that gas price, this is in the middle of nowhere, pretty much. so gas prices are always going to be a little bit more expensive in rural areas. But yeah, this was awesome. I really did, man. What was I talking about before?
You were glazing the
Shit.
three of us. That's what you're talking about. That was definitely it.
Sure, I like y'all guys. All right, I'm done now.
Go ahead, Hunter.
It's weird because this is our first cast together, and this is my most. This is what I believe is my first memory of you. And man, was it a shell shock of a beginning. I mean, for the first time, I'm like, all right, who am I casting with today? Fletch. All right, cool. I've heard about this guy. This is gonna be fun. You go live. It's like, hey, bud, I'm at a gas station right now. Car's broken down. Don't worry, we're gonna kill it out there. We're gonna do great.
Yeah. Car's broken down, casting outside of a gas station off of a hot spot. It was great.
So
I was like, go ahead.
So to kind of piggyback off this here, you said you casted from hotel rooms. You said you've casted from gas stations. Any other kind of like random places you've ended up casting from before, or has every other one been somewhat normal?
Most of them have been somewhat normal. I guess the outside of that, like I casted from my best friend's bedroom once when I was visiting home. Didn't really have another way to do it because the internet at my parents' place is terrible. So that was actually also the Ramatra Rumble. So I casted those games from the hotel room, and then on Sunday, I think it was actually me and Ray doing like a grand finals or something like that. That had already been played, so it was a vodcast. So he and I were doing it. I was doing it from my best friend David's bedroom at his parents' place, because I didn't have sufficient internet to deal with that at home. But other than that, it's mostly just been, my apartments, my apartments, I guess.
I mean, I think honestly the weirdest place I probably ever ended up casting from was I don't know, my mother's closet.
It's just great because it's like in the Smash Melee community, there's all what's the craziest place you've played Melee?
Mm-hmm.
I think if there was a what's the craziest place you've casted from question, I think 9 times out of 10 I probably win that conversation, which is great. I like that.
I think you easily. I mean, I don't think anyone can top a gas station. Like, I'm trying to think of what would top a gas station. Probably a moving. Probably
a moving car.
A moving car, moving bus. Other people around. They don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're just screaming about people killing people.
I mean, that's kind of what the people outside that gas station were doing, because it's not like that gas station was closed. I tried to cast from inside the gas station, but I could not get my hotspot to connect from inside. The connection was too small, and their internet had gone down a few hours prior, so it had to be from outside. I think that if I had done it from inside the gas station, it probably would have taken it to the next level of funny, because there was I remember there was a taxidermied cow on top of the little burger joint that was inside the gas station. I think I took a picture of it, but I think it would have been that much funnier if I had been able to do it from inside, but outside was still fine.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up working out. Like, I remember tuning into that broadcast and seeing where you were. I was like, that's a very nice green screen he has there of a background. And then I go in, I think I went into like the production chat for that. I was like, no, he's actually at a gas station. I was like, holy shit, this is insane. But you brought it up here with Mega a little bit here. You guys have a frenemy thing going, like, when you guys cast. What was it like to kind of have that level of like coordination? No, that's not the right word.
It's synergy.
Yeah. What's that like?
The thing is about basically every person that I've ever become like really close friends with, I need to be able to banter. If I cannot talk shit, I cannot get close to somebody. It's happened time and time again. All of my good friends, we just talk shit. I think that is a result of me playing football in high school. It's kind of all you do in football is talk shit. So growing up playing football, it's kind of just how I learned to communicate and get close with people. And Mega kind of goes with the flow when it comes to that. We talk shit off camera. Generally speaking, we're pretty amicable on camera. But I think that what goes on off camera or is just as important as what is happening on camera. Because if we trust each other to do that kind of stuff off camera, it's just going to become a better product on camera. We trust each other to know where we're going with a cast.
Mega, what do you kind of think about that, or how do you look at this Frienemy Synergy?
I mean, it's always the joke, right? But there truly is no level of animosity at all, right? Like me, and it's just so nice from a caster's perspective, right? Because especially in like community leagues and stuff like that, there's the caster duos don't happen. They just don't, right? You're going to be with whoever gets thrown with you on the day, and you just work with it, right? Some people are great, some people aren't. It is what it is, right? It's different levels of experience, but like anytime I look at a prod sheet anywhere, I see that I'm with Fletch, it's just a relief because it's like, okay, I'm not going to have to think about 18 different things. I'm not going to have to try to cover that. Like, we have such a natural ebb and flow that, like, don't get me wrong, I feel like I have a nice flow with a few casters like you, Dex. Like, we talked about it a few weeks ago when you, me, and who was it that hit the perfect tri-cast without saying a word?
It was someone me and you had never done anything with. I don't remember who it was.
I don't remember,
It was
but
someone
the
in
point
BPL, I
being,
just don't know who.
the point being that like synergy like that, it doesn't come up very often, but like me and Fletch, it just feels like a good duo. We bounce off of each other's energy and it makes casting 10 times easier because I get to focus on the actual good parts of casting that I love instead of like the minor details of, oh, is this person gonna mess up some dead air, is this person gonna leave me hanging on this, change this, da, da, da. It just brings such a ease to the cast that then allows me to elevate the product, and I just love it.
And
He's also pretty fun.
Yeah,
Pretty fun guy.
I would imagine it's really fun, and like you said there, Mega, like especially at this level, there's not that many like true caster duos. And I mean, this is something where in the last season that CGL did their Friday night or Saturday night Overwatch, then it was like you two were always the ones that was like, okay, if they're available, it seemed like Ray or Hippie was always putting you two together because they were trying to keep that as a duo. Then there was me and Hunter, and I think it was Ray and someone else that they were trying to keep as like the duos.
It was originally I think Twin Salty and I think Time Delight, if I'm not mistaken. It was at least Twin Salty. I know for a fact he was one.
Yeah,
right. TTL and Twin Salty, yeah.
And
I think.
Yeah, I think we got them once, and then I think just TTL's schedule just got filled up, and they weren't able to do it again. I think Hunter, did you fill in with Twin Salty one time?
I filled in a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah, but like what you and Fletch have is like something that is truly unique that you don't see that often, and it's always a blast when you two are casting a game. Just because like you guys said, you guys kind of have this synergy. You guys know where you're going with a lot of stuff here. It's really fun to see, especially at the level we're all at, just to kind of see that play out.
Oh yeah, no, it's tons of fun, and like I said, it makes for a better overall broadcast because, like, obviously, we talked about how much friendship really matters. It's the thing that brings you back a lot of the time because, you're not getting paid every single time you're out to cast some of these games or something like that. And so it truly is like the people, the communities you build around you. And yeah, it's like there's just no other words for it, and it's great. And that it allows you to just make your casting 10 times better. Like, I constantly in my own head of like, oh, I can improve this, I can do this. like, it's almost like in comparison if you look at, like, established caster duos across other games, right? Obviously, Mitch and Matt comes to mind, Brennan Sideshow, people like that, people who can banter, have that little bit of conversation back and forth with each other, where that, oh, hey, these aren't just two people talking on a screen at the same time. This is like, two friends sitting and chatting about a game, and we just happen to be in front of a camera when it's happening. And so it just makes it feel nice and floated.
Yeah, and it really does. Like I said, it's a reason why whenever you two are, casting the same game, it's always one where I have to at least sit down and watch for a little bit because I know it's going to be good. But kind of moving on away from that here, Hunter, I mean, me and you are kind of like the same when it comes to why we got into esports. We both played sports throughout probably the majority of our life growing up. And, I knew going into college I probably wasn't going to do anything. Maybe the only thing I could have done was potentially through discus, but never got anything for that. And esports just kind of opened up a lot. But, I always kind of base off how I started casting based off of how I would look at sports announcers and how they would call games. Is that something where you kind of would get started too, or did you watch a lot of more esports and then say, okay, I need to kind of gear towards that? Like, how did you really get like your inspiration? I guess it's the right word.
You're talking to me, right? You said Hunter.
You did say Hunter, and I was like, I'll happily answer the question.
Okay,
that's why I waited. I waited, and I'm
okay. No, I got it. Okay. So really, me starting off was kind of just a whim decision. I really didn't think too much about it. I did call my mom when I put in the application. I'm like, hey, can you help me out get a new pair of headphones? These are the same headphones I started casting, right? Because what I was using before then was where are they? I can't find them. Were the DualSense or whatever the hell they're called, the PlayStation wireless headphones. And wireless microphones are awful, like notoriously bad. So I was like, I need some help to get a mic that sounds like decent that I can also use for other stuff. And so she helped me out with that. But even before that, for some reason, my mom was always like, you need to be like an announcer or some shit. And I really never understood what she was talking about. Because she has been saying that for years. Like, I was 12 years old and she was saying that. And now I kind of understand what she meant. I don't know how she got there before I started. But
just have a way of knowing stuff.
Yeah, so that was kind of, I started on a whim, right? There was no real reason. I enjoyed what I was watching, and I wanted to be a part of it. And so I kind of threw my name in the hat and came in, and now I'm here.
I mean, I don't think I was, or my mom ever said, like, hey, yeah, you have a good voice, you should do this. But when I first got started, like, I would always kind of compare to how I like called games to like how I would watch. I'm fucking terrible with names, but it's like the normal people you would see on like, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, NBA games. Like, that's how I really came into it, looking at it. And, I still feel like I kind of fall into that same kind of like style a little bit, but there is definitely, I figured it out a little bit better how to gear it more towards esports. And it comes with just watching more esports as well.
I think when it comes to my style, I talked about it a little bit. I think it helps me that I didn't really base my style off of anybody. Like now these days, the person that I'm trying to be most like would be Uber. Uber is like I is genuinely I think Uber is the pinnacle of play-by-play in esports. I don't think anybody does it better than he does. So he's kind of the high that I'm chasing. But when I started, like I said earlier, I just wanted to bring the energy that everybody had before when I was going to these LAN events, right? I wanted to be the guy who I was admittedly a little bit too loud when I started out. It was a little bit too much. When I look back, I see where I have improved since then. But I think the core idea is still the same. I like being energetic because generally speaking, in my everyday life, I'm very low energy. I don't talk a lot. I don't do a lot. So this is kind of my outlet to be that little ball of energy that everybody has gotten to know me as in esports over the past fucking what 4 or 5 years now. And I think that has helped me to become more unique as a caster. I think it has helped me to be recognizable, and I yeah, and I'm just glad that I was able to build myself up on my own as a caster. Obviously, I took in the recommendations of everybody that I've casted with, producers and everything that have been around for a lot longer. And they give me advice, and I try to take everything into consideration. And I think that I'm all the better for it now. I think that I'm more controlled, and I know when to use that energy that I'm known for. And I think that I am. Oh man, I lost my train of thought.
You're good. Good.
I know what I can be, and I know what I want to become. And I think that every time I cast, and even though it is a little bit less these days than I would like, since I am just a bit more busy, I think that I am still getting better.
Yeah, and I think especially where we are all at, like every time to go out there is a chance for improvement and to get better. But I mean, Mega and Hunter fucked that up again. I can't believe it. But like when we've probably touched on this in the past, considering now this is our 20th episode. But when you guys were first getting in, like, what was your guys' kind of like inspirations for how you wanted your like casting style to be? Was it like looking at other people's, or was it like kind of what Fletch said with his thing, like trying to have your own, but then take inspirations from other people as you start to develop your own kind of style?
Hunter, do you want this first, or are you thinking?
You go first.
Okay. So I remember very specifically when I started casting, and this kind of stunted my casting growth, is I very intentionally was like, I don't want to mimic anyone else, so I'm not even going to listen to anyone else. Like, I purposely did not do anything but just look at my own casting. I did not attempt to, see how pros are doing it, get input from other casters at the level, things like that. And the issue with that is my initial casting I've talked about before was pretty much me, Captain Jack, and a producer single-handedly running the prod for an esports league between the three of us. And I remember that so specifically because the uh Captain Jack, well, he's he knows what he's doing. He runs his stuff nowadays. He was not in a position to be like, "Hey, here's what you can improve on," or anything like that. So it was a very unfortunate situation of a forced yes man, where he just anything I did, it was like, "Yeah, you're good," and it stunted my growth for a bit. And then after a couple of odd reviews under my belt, when I got into CGL, I realized, oh, I could actually be learning so much more. And that's when I started to listen to other casters and just sort of take notes, right, of just like what they do that maybe I like that I could incorporate, but also things that maybe I want to make sure that I avoid and things like that. Overall, I don't think I've taken a lot from pretty much anyone, as I still like to maintain something of my own, but listening to people is smart, and I wish I had done it 10 times sooner.
Yeah, I would say my own story is pretty similar in that regard, because I like managed to cut my teeth and not really having anything to go off of in the first place, which is to my own fault. Overwatch League was very much going on at the time. Contenders still extremely large at the time as well. There was plenty to be able to look at. It's just something I never did because it's nothing that I took seriously at the time. It was like, all right, I'm going to do a cast here and there, and all right, going to forget about this for 3 weeks and then come back and do another and then repeat the process. But it was really important to actually learn from people and actually watch different people and sitting down and watching things outside of Overwatch League as well, because people, you get to watch other people develop as well, and you kind of get to see other people's journeys. You see, okay, this is how they're improving, this is what they're doing, how can I develop that way as well? And being able to be exposed to dozens and dozens of different casters kind of gives you that perspective of how to really go about it and how to kind of figure out your own way. And for me, the way has just been start getting in every rep you possibly can and watch as much as you can. I mean, this is one of the big reasons why like we're doing Face It now, because I'm just trying to, in what is one of the least busy periods of our entire year, to keep grinding away and keep trying to learn. But I wish that is something I would have done a season or two earlier. I wish this is something that I would have looked into 2 or 3 years earlier, back when I was like, yeah, let's actually learn stuff and do this, only to realize that I didn't learn as much as I would have really had hoped to. But happy the trend is hopefully changing.
It's fun to do Face It games. Like Mega, I got you last Thursday to do one. Wasn't the series I think both me and you were hoping for, but it was still a fun one nevertheless. Hunter, it seems like most of the series me and you have done have gone to 5, other than some of the South American games, but we kind of expected that. And
yeah,
I mean, Fletch, if you're ever down to do a Face It game, I'll definitely reach out to you. Yeah, looks like he's down.
Yes, Captain. Yes,
he's
Captain.
down. Let's go.
Right. Hey, maybe we could get a fucking quadcast in, just us 4.
Let's
That'd be
go.
I feel like that'd be a
Couchcast?
nightmare.
We'll just commit to a rotation. It's all good. We have you know, what is essentially 2 duos at this point that'll just go back and forth. It'll confuse the hell out of everybody though.
Yeah. Okay, but to kind of go away from this, and Fletch, you actually have done more stuff in esports probably than the rest of us here combined. But that is because you've gone and worked events, not like for casting, but you've actually gone and worked at events, whether it be ticketing or for selling merch. What were those events like? I know they're all kind of in Texas because Optic. It's mostly Optic most of the time, isn't it? That is running them. But what is that kind of like to actually be there working for an esports event, but not actually casting for it? Like, was it like to kind of be there but have it?
It is interesting because for the most part, I'm not there for games that I enjoy or care about all that much. But in general, my want, and it's what I'm actually coming to school here for. My degree at UNT is called RESM, Recreation Event Sports Management. I want to be able to run events, esports or otherwise, that I can be proud of. And that was actually I just found this the other day. This is a little necklace from the off season 2. It's probably a little too blurry to actually see that, too small. That was the event that really made me want to do this. What made me transfer to UNT. It's very nice to be able to go to these events and work them because I am now, at the very least, super logistics pilled when it comes to events. I'm always trying to learn and see what these people are doing that right, they're doing wrong. What I can fix, what I can improve on when I ultimately start doing my own stuff. And also I make friends, right? It comes back to the community, because it's often the same people working together with Optic. We have that generally works all the events together. And there's some new people that come in, and not all of them stay. But it is a very, very nice group of people. And just last weekend, or not this past weekend, but the weekend before that, I had actually not intended to go to DreamHack as but they desperately needed my help at the HCS, the Halo Championship Series, where I refed the Open tournament, which was interesting. I don't know if I would work DreamHack again, just because in general, even without Overwatch, it is an event that I really do enjoy just going to. And that's something that I learned to not do, is working events that you want to go to. Years and years ago, all the way back at the Kickoff Clash in 2022. I worked the Kickoff Clash, and I also had a VIP ticket to the Kickoff Clash. So I spent my breaks in my VIP seat that weekend, and it got me in trouble with the people who were there, because I was more interested in that were going on than actually working. And so much so that I actually decided that I was just not going to work on Sunday. We came to the conclusion that it would probably just be better, especially because the Fuel were playing very, very well. That was, when they were getting very, very good. Me and my boss, we were just like, yeah, I'm not going to work on Sunday. I'm just going to watch the games. And so I did. Fuel ended up losing that tournament, unfortunately, to Peak Gladiators. The Gladiators were so good those first two stages that season, so I can't be too mad about it. But I went ahead and apologized at the Battle of Texas later that season, and they picked me up. And this is the most unique thing that I've done working an event, is they picked me up for the CDL, the Call of Duty League Major, I want to say Major 3 in 2023. I went and I was running their, what was it? It was the Oakley basketball activation, where I was given permission to talk as much shit as I wanted to the players while they were playing basketball. And that was because my boss Eric knew and saw what I was doing at previously, and knew that my energy was kind of what that activation wanted. So he let me do that, and ever since then, I've been kind of a recurring character at these Optic events. So much so that even the attendees have started to recognize me. I got recognized in the elevator at DreamHack the other weekend by one of the Optic fans, playing in two separate tournaments in both the CDL Major and the Halo Major. So there were a bunch of Optic fans there, and a couple of them recognized me from here and there. But yeah, give me a second. I will be right back. I'm gonna do some show and tell real quick.
Yeah. So, guys, I'm gonna tell you this because I don't think you've ever seen a photo of like actual Fletch standing next to people. Fletch is 6'5". He's like 6'5", 6'6". He is a tall motherfucker. Like Fletch. Just before you do the show and tell. Okay. Quick sidebar. How tall are you?
6'5".
Yeah. Like, it is, I will say this. This is the one thing between online and actually meeting in person. It is insane to see how tall people are, because you always kind of expect them to be around your height. But then there is you and Hippie, who are tall.
Yeah.
And it was Piers as well, right? Piers was somewhat tall.
Yeah, Piers is like 6'8", 6'7".
Yeah, like, you do not expect them to be tall. Like, when I saw you the first time, I was honestly fucking like, I had to do a double take because I knew it was you, but I didn't expect you to be 6'5".
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of doesn't help that my camera angle for a long time, and even now, is kind of looking down on me, so it's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, but now for show and tell. This is my badge collection. I go to a lot of events to try and learn. I mean, hack badge, CECC. I think I've got an NECC thing in here. A couple of anime conventions that I go to with some friends. When I work for Optic, they like giving. They don't mind giving us all of the badges that they have left. So I have a bunch of events that I worked where I have all of the available badges. Speaking of the Kickoff Clash, here's my VIP badge. that is signed by Hanbin.
Oh, nice.
That I hardly got to use. But this is this is really I've done a lot over the past few years. I really have. I'm really happy that I've gotten to do so much. Like last year, I don't know if I've told y'all this. I probably have at some point. I went to 5 world championships in esports. I went to obviously Overwatch in Sweden. I went to CDL championships. And then I went to Fortnite, Rocket League, and Smite. I worked Smite, I worked Smite and Call of Duty, just went to Fortnite and Rocket League because I was interested and they were in Fort Worth. And then obviously I went to Sweden for Overwatch, which was great. But yeah, there's especially because I am trying to run events and like I said, I'm super happy to be able to go to so many events to try and learn and see what works.
Yeah. Hunter, did you get up to go get your badges as well, or?
Yeah, mine are entirely conventions though. If that's a good man, some of them are literally phasing through the green screen, but yeah, these are all from the past few years or so, including the one I just finished up, Colossal Con, which lots of things on here. I had more.
What was the last anime convention I went to? I think the
so
last anime convention I went to
Jesus.
was Kawacon in just January.
So, for my badges, I mean, I only have the 2 hanging right back here that you can see. These are the 2 events that I've worked: DreamHack and then the Big South LAN right here. There, I have the DreamHack Stockholm and Owl Grand Finals behind me up there, just right next to the owl hat.
Oh man, you have no idea how sad it makes me that the Overwatch League playoffs in 2022 did not have badges.
They didn't?
No, it was wristbands.
Why?
I don't know. It makes me sad every day.
I've never not done a badge for like anything I've gone to. That's insane.
I got confused for a second. I thought the final season of Owl was 2023 or 2022.
It was 2023.
Damn.
Yeah, it was. But here, let me ask you this, and just in talking about how these events have gone, like, what was one of the ones that you could look at as like saying they ran it really good, and what was an event that you looked at as like this one was not ran the best? You don't have to point out names or anything. You can just kind of.
Oh, he's looking. He's looking.
that I've worked or gone to.
Let's do the worst one you worked and the best one you've gone to.
So I'll start out on a high note. I think like for all of the events that I've gone to that I've really enjoyed, there's one that stood out, and it was actually one that I worked. Like I said earlier, it was the off-season 2. That was in October of, I want to say, 2023. And oh man, that is the singular event that made me want to, do my own stuff. Because of how incredibly awesome that event was. I don't know what y'all know about the off season. The off season is an event that it didn't get run by Optic last year, unfortunately, because admittedly they're pretty bad with finances. But they ran it 2 years in a row in 2022 and 2023, and the one that I worked was the 2023 one. It was themed after like pop punk, and they had 3 tournaments going on at this place. They had an invitational COD tournament where they were playing Black Ops 2. They had a Super Smash Bros. Melee tournament, and they had a Guitar Hero 3 tournament. I was supposed to work the merch booth that weekend. But the merch booth was so slow that they gave me permission to go help TO the Guitar Hero 3 tournament. So I got to assist with that, and it was the first time in a while that I actually gotten to mingle with all the people that were there and kind of soak in the event. Because when you go to ESA, the merch booth is outside of the actual stadium. It is in the main hall at the back. So, we have a screen so that we can watch the games, but we don't actually get to go inside very often. So when I get to spend all my time in the arena, watching the games, talking to the players, that Hitch really did run a great tournament or a great event. And he is the one who gave me the inspiration to, start my own stuff. Now, as for the worst event that I have worked, I mean, I can't really say that any of them have been. I think that there have been ones where I more than others because I often am working the merch booth, and the merch booth, when you're looking at like a Halo tournament versus a Call of Duty tournament where there's just people in general at a Halo tournament, people coming through the merch booth. So I spend a lot of time just on my phone bored because I'm not doing anything. So if I have to say like a worst event that I've gone to that way, oh wait, here's the off-season badge. I stole a Gen Ad badge that they gave to me. That is the worst, like the worst events that I've run have been the HCS tournaments, just because I get bored. Now, I do have a worst event that, like, definitively, I gave it 2 years of a chance. It's WeebCon. Absolutely fuck WeebCon, because that convention is not only monumentally boring, there's nothing going on, but they treat their creators like dog shit. And one of my best friends, in fact, it was Rena earlier, she's a cosplayer. She worked for them 2 years ago, helping to run their cosplay meetups, and they ran her like a dog for no pay. So we hate DreamHack, or we hate not DreamHack. We love DreamHack. Actually, we hate WeebCon in this household. But other than that, I've been generally very happy with how the events that I have attended have been.
Yeah, and like I only have a very small like pool when it comes to events or conventions I've gone to. I think it's only 4, 5, like 3 DreamHacks last year, a DreamHack in like 2021, and then Owl. Those are the 5 things I've ever gone to, like any convention or events. Like they've all been ran very well. And if you were to ask me like what was kind of the worst one, I weirdly have to like I don't want to say Owl Grand Finals.
I think it's got to be DreamHack Sweden. I didn't like DreamHack Sweden.
It was very it could have like I thought it could have been set up a little bit better.
You know what? I'll say it. The El Giganten store should have been where the Overwatch stage was, and the Overwatch stage should have been where the El Giganten store.
Yeah, like
I think that the fact that they did not have a center monitor to watch the games really hurt the experience for me. But still, that's not saying that DreamHack Stockholm was a bad event. It was a really good event. DreamHack is a very, very good event in general, and I'm going again next year. I don't think I'll be able to make it to Sweden this year, unfortunately, but I will be going to another DreamHack at some point in the future for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of with you on that same kind of thing. I don't think I'm going to Stockholm this year.
I might go to
keep
Atlanta.
On getting mad though. Like every time I see one of our friends tweet it, like saying, "Hey, I'm heavily considering," it's like, well, fuck. I don't want to go. I really don't want to have that financial burden again. But it's like it was a lot of fun meeting so many people last year. But I just don't think I'm gonna go to Stockholm again. But yeah, I feel like just the entire setup of the Stockholmsminnen or whatever the venue was. The ceilings, I think, really hurt it. The fact that all the ceilings were kind of low, you couldn't have a center monitor for that one reason. But I still think it was a pretty good RAN event. Like all the DreamHacks, like I said, are really good RAN events. It's just how they set some stuff up sometimes, which is not the best.
I think my only gripe other than that was that the artist alley was kind of whack.
Your mic's
Hello? Hello? Hunter, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Mic's coming through. I just can't hear you.
Huh.
Really? Huh. I can hear both of you just fine, but Dex, you can't hear Fletch. Oh. Because Fletch, your audio is definitely going through, but something about Mr. Tron over here not picking it up. Just do the whip and the nay.
Okay, wait. No, I'm a dumbass.
How'd you manage that one?
Apparently, when I leaned my head back against the head pillow here, it turned down my volume knob on my headset.
Okay.
Hey,
that's the magic of editing, no?
I'm not editing it.
Okay, he's not editing it.
I already have to edit once. But Fletch, what did you say? Because I know you were still talking since my computer was still picking it up.
So, the only other gripe that I have for DreamHack Stockholm is that the artist alley was kind of bunk.
Terrible, honestly.
It was so small. I wish that it was a little bit bigger, but I mean that's kind of a nitpick. Because you're not there for artist alley for the most part. You're there for the esports stuff. And as much as I would have liked the artist to be bigger, there really wasn't space for it in the venue. So they just kind of had to line the whole Stockholmassen, which I'm glad that DreamHack Dallas was able to bring back a proper artist alley.
Yeah, Atlanta and Dallas had huge artist alleys, and that was one thing I was kind of excited about to go to Stockholm. It's I'm gonna fly all the way to Europe and see a lot of those artists over there, and then it was just 12.
Kind of and half of them were shitty printed T-shirts.
Yeah. And
yeah, it was unfortunate, but we're not the ones running the event. ESL tried, I guess, but what can you do? But it was still overall an event that I would go to again. Opportunity. It's not going to happen this year. I might go to DreamHack Atlanta if I go with one of my friends, but other than that, I think that the only events that I'll go to for the rest of the year are going to be ones that I work. I just don't have the fluidity that I would like to be able to have right now.
Yeah,
just unfortunate.
Same.
Yeah,
same. I not to interrupt, but I really hope, because I still think international lands are mostly the way to go for Overwatch, but I hope there's just one, whether it's in the US, whether it's in Canada, some kind of land for OWCS next year for North America. I would kill for it. If one happened, I could genuinely go into it and start meeting people for once.
I'm of the opinion right now that we won't see another OWCS land in NA for probably a year or two.
I think they'd be insane. They're gonna kill the North American scene if they don't do that.
I like the fact that they've gone out to Hangzhou, the fact that they're doing Stockholm a second time. Not gonna mention the other one, but I like the fact that they are doing different places. But it would be a bit of a weird decision to not do an NA one 2 years in a row.
Yeah, but you have to it comes down to, do they do it at another DreamHack or do they do it as its own thing? Because I kind of think,
Champions Clash wasn't a DreamHack.
That's true.
But I'm saying if it comes back to NA, because it feels like all the Good.
You'd have to run it as its own event if how the timing lines up, because they've proven that they're willing to do a high production value event that's not tied to DreamHack in Champions Clash.
True.
So why couldn't they do it here, right? Obviously, I think the Chinese fan base is probably a little bit bigger at this point. So I'm not mad at them for doing it in China. I think China has needed like a proper event for a very long time. But like Overwatch is, an American game in general. I think that the second largest fan base is going to be in America after China. I think it would kill the fan base in North America if they did not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would love to see one next year, but I feel like they're gonna choose to go to like do a South Korean or Japanese LAN, and then probably just keep the middle the two to end the year as well.
I would love one in Japan a lot.
But
like, go ahead.
No, finish your thought, because I was gonna transition.
No, because I was to say after they did oh god, what was it? Oh god, they did the Valorant Masters in Tokyo a couple of years back. That was a lot of fun to watch. Something like that for Overwatch would be pretty exciting.
Yeah. But transitioning away from a lot of the stuff with esports, we talked about it earlier on. I said we would bring it back up. Hunter, Fletch, I feel like you guys like doing this. Fletch, I feel like that flame is beckoning to you at the moment. It is calling, asking for something to sacrifice. But speaking of sacrificing, let's
and its name is in the bottom left corner of the screen right now.
Yeah.
That flame's getting a little too close to my Winton. Please be careful. Thank you.
Yeah. But here, Fletch, let's talk about Pokemon here for a little bit, because that has been something.
Yeah, I love Pokemon.
Let's go, Pokemon.
We had Ray on, I think about 2 months ago at this point, who him and Mega talked about Pokemon for a while. Then we had User Intel on, who talked about Pokemon for a little bit as well. While I am a very casual fan, per se, I feel like you fall into that area right now where you are a super fan of Pokemon.
I don't know if I'd go like that far, because I don't watch like the TCG competitively all that much. I just but hang on, I'll be right back. I've only got the one right now. Next, I have all my trade stuff, my meta stuff, so I'm gonna go get my cool shit.
Yeah.
Man, Dex, I'm tempted to leave you with your own thoughts here for a moment while I also grab cards. Is that, again, can you monologue for 30 seconds?
I can monologue, and just to let everyone know, go ahead and do your thing. Mega had to go, so her V2 model is still here, but she had to go do something, so she won't talk the rest of the episode.
Immersion broken.
Well, just wanted to let it know, because I was gonna be by myself for a little bit.
Okay, so this is my personal binder, my PC. And then I have 7 decks, I think, right now. So here, right now, this is my main deck. This is the most expensive deck that I have right now. It's probably worth close to $400.
That's a really solid case.
These are my 3 backup decks that I use a lot, or that I really like. This is my Dragapult deck. This is a very, very meta deck right now. Probably the second or third best deck in the meta. This, I think, is the other deck that is in that second, third spot. Lovingly called by my friend Sarah Raging Pussy. It is Raging Bolt. And I don't play it anymore because it's boring. And then this is one that is not in the meta as much. This is what I call the OG baddie deck.
Oh no.
This is my Cynthia's deck.
I had a feeling it was going to be something along those lines.
This is my Cynthia's deck. Cynthia's Garchomp. Very, very not great deck, but it's one I enjoy. And then got a couple of decks over here that I haven't, put into like actual rotation yet. This is my this is gonna be a deck that is something that I just think is funny because I don't know if you'll be able to read it.
Put it down a little bit.
No. Okay. No. So the first attack on this card is or rather, I'm going to be calling this deck Vengeance Hooing because the first attack on this Roaring Moon card is called Vengeance Fletching.
Ooh.
And
like the card was made specifically for you.
Yeah. Yep. And so once I get my car back, I will be traveling to one of my card shops to finish that deck because this deck is like $20 total. Very, very inexpensive deck. And then in here, I've got Marnie's Grimmsnarl, which I am currently building. Bought the pre-built version. And then this is Terrabox. This is like the 4th or 5th best deck in the format. Then I have a Gardevoir somewhere or the other. I don't know. I really enjoy playing Pokemon a lot. We're gonna break into this deck because this is where all my like really cool cards are, or the cool cards that I have. Like, I've got a bunch of these full arts. I've got SIR Arvin here in this deck. Gold Super Rod. Bunch of gold cards.
Hunter had to get up again to get something.
Bunch of full arts. SIR Boss's Orders. Getsus is doing some work.
But let me ask you about this. Like you have these competitive decks. You say you don't play competitively, but do you ever?
No, I don't watch. I play.
Oh, that was gonna be the question. Do you ever watch like the competitive stuff when they have like their major events?
I think the problem with like watching Pokemon versus watching something like Overwatch competitively is that the TCG is so luck based.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a card game, right? You shuffle your deck, you draw your card. You don't know what's coming. There's so much more under your control that you can learn from when it comes to esports. It is far less reliant on luck. And for that reason, I often don't find it worth my time to watch the TCG get played. Unfortunately, I don't care as much for VGC. The video game is not as interesting to me because it just isn't. I don't really have a reason for not being as interested in. Like I enjoy playing the game, and I think that Pokemon in general is a lot like baseball in the fact that if you're not playing it, at least in my opinion, it gets a little bit hard to watch at times. Because it is a very, very slow-paced game.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reason why I don't want to count Pokemon, TCG, VGC, or otherwise. Because those games are such slow-paced games, and the games that I enjoy are a lot faster. And the games I enjoy watching, I guess. And so I just play the game, and I enjoy playing the game because I started going to college in 2020. Right, I'm on my 3rd university. I have my best friend that I lived with for 2.5 years at my school at Angelo State University. Then I transferred to UT Dallas because I wanted to work in esports, whatever the fuck that means. I didn't really have a plan when I transferred, so my time at UTD was kind of worthless. I was there for 1.5 years. Now at UNT, I actually enjoy going to school. I wanted to I just didn't want to go at any of my first 2 schools because I didn't care what I was doing. I was just going to get a degree. Now I'm happy, and I went to the Pokemon Club for the first time this semester, second in the spring at UNT, and I made friends, like close friends that I hang out with every single week. So Pokemon has really broadened my, which now I will show off, which I'm sure Hunter is also likely to do.
Hunter, start
Yeah,
showing
I
If you want to
I don't
break out
have
some cards.
I don't have I do have the stuff I pulled this weekend. Most of it is from Destined Rivals. I pulled like a couple outside of that. The one or two that I'm most proud of, I showed earlier on, was the Team Rockets Mewtwo EX, which I thought looks phenomenal. I know it's kind of probably a little hard to see, but
Those look nice.
they're very nice. I pulled this Jolteon promo from Sword and Shield pack that it's a little hard to see through as it's currently blending in with the green screen. That's not easy. I'll take a photo of that later. Right. This one looks pretty sick though. It's the Nidoking EX that I pulled as well.
Nice.
My friend pulled a full art though, which I'm happy for him, but I wish it was me.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna say this is a random side tangent for about 20 seconds. All these amazing cards I bought hardly compared to the masterpiece of art that I got at the Artist Alley. Okay, you want to talk about Artist Alleys? The Colossal Cunt Artist Alley is the best. Why? Because it's going to be inverted, but this masterpiece right here, the Super Smash Brothers regular show collaboration art piece.
High Five Ghost Kirby?
yeah. So, like...
That's, what's his name? What's the ghost called? I can't remember.
The ghost is High Five Ghost.
High Five Ghost. Yeah, High Five Ghost. Okay.
Yeah. Skips is obviously Donkey Kong. You got Fox and Falco between Rigby and Mordecai specifically. Obviously, God, what's his name? Oh no,
Skips? Benson?
No, not Skips. Benson being Mario. Yeah.
If Muscle Man was in there, he would have just ended up being Wario.
He would. And now they're basically on the golf cart Star Fox. It's lovely. I love this piece of art so much.
Our styles are really fun.
It is.
Okay. I've pulled out a few cards that I'm really happy to show off here. I'm looking through this deck right now to pull out a couple more.
While you look here, Megan normally asks a question to all of our guests. I'm gonna ask it here for her, and then
Oh, look at Dexatron speaking for women.
Dang.
I explained why. I explained it already. Okay, they know she's not here. Here, Fletch. So Megan normally asks everyone this one question. It's a hard-hitting question. We've gotten some really great answers from it. You can show off your Pokemon cards while you're answering it, but we want to know, or mostly Megan wants to know. So here, let me preface it with this. Did you watch Blue's Clues growing up?
I mean, a little bit, but my childhood is like pretty vague in my head.
Fair enough. Do you know the landlord of the house that Blue and
I don't.
Is Mr. Salt?
I don't remember that. No.
No, like that's the thing. Mega brought this up. Like Mr. Salt's technically the owner of the house that they live in. So he lives in the house for free with whatever human is there and Blue.
Sheesh. I mean, that sounds like a good deal to me.
That's like the surprising thing. It's an incredible deal.
No, the biggest memory I have from my childhood was I was once at my friend Peyton's house. I was probably 8 at the time. I think I don't remember like exact times. I was probably even with you. But I was staying over at my friend Peyton's house, and for some reason, like the TV was still on when we fell asleep, and when I woke up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I look up at the TV shining over us and see the fucking Teletubbies. And ever since that day, I have always rather disliked the Teletubbies. I do not care for the Teletubbies. I think they're
Tell me jump scare.
Yes. But now, first little group is going to be the cards that I like from my my current main deck. So this is my SIR Boss's Orders.
Me likey.
SIR Arvin. I wish that my window wasn't right behind my monitor. But another SIR Arvin from a different set. SIR Iono. This is like a $65 card. SIR Iron Hands. I love this card. He's just running through the wall. See these holes and stuff? That's from Iron Hands running through the wall. This is a card from 2011 Pokemon from the set Dark Explorers. This is $105.
I remember that card. That's when my brother
This is $105, and I wanted it for this deck. Of course, illustration rare promo Iron Bundle, Gold Mew, and I don't know what this guy's doing here. Just a play stamp Iron Hands. And then the cards that I pulled out from my personal collection that I really, really like. I've got this fucked up looking Eevee.
Bro is not okay.
Look at that. Oh, it finally decided to focus.
It focuses on that.
My illustration rare Zero Aura. Cynthia's Ambition. Cynthia's my favorite trainer in all of Pokemon. That's why I have a deck built around her Pokemon from Destined Rivals.
Ooh.
Okay, so this is a Japanese Cleffa illustration rare. The regular one, I think I got this card for like $11. The $25. A card that I dropped just now. This illustration or this Japanese 25th anniversary full art Zekrom. I bought that for $15. It's worth $30 now.
Hey, profit.
This little Chinese card, because I really, really love Pichu. Pichu, I think, clears Pikachu in every single way. I have this fucked up looking Simisear card that I love dearly. I hate this Pokemon, but I love this card.
Why does it look like... I keep on seeing fucking something that looks like that on... How am I going now?
Pulled this cast form from a pack per win last week, or the week before, rather. From
Nice.
Surging Sparks. This Tatsugiri, which I really do like a lot. I love. This is my personal favorite card in my collection. It was given to me by one of my very close friends. Well, I traded for it, but it's the Pichu Bros.
Mm-hmm.
This card is fucking adorable. I love this card so much. And then I have my one big pull from Destined Rivals. My Ethan's Typhlosion.
Nice.
And then my first proxy that I ever made for a deck that I didn't have all the cards for because, like, for some reason could not find a fucking common Croconaw. This little guy.
Oh.
Fuck it.
So I have a lot more cards, but those are really the ones that I really give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quickly found the other cards I had sitting by, so I'm gonna quickly show two more,
Hunter.
just because. Listen, it's just two more. Just two more.
No, you can show the cards. Oh. Why the fuck is the clearly you don't own an air fryer thing behind you?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I can see his fucking eyes, man.
I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. No clue what you're referring to.
Show the damn cards.
So this one is a promo card from 2013. It's a Charizard EX.
Okay, so it's getting clearer.
Yeah, so yeah, let me go ahead and just send him away for a minute so it's not completely messed up. But God, you know what? Green screen. You know what? I'm dropping the proverbial wall really quick and just gonna do that really quick to say it's true that Professor EX, lovely little son of a gun. My favorite card though that I have in my collection is a good old base set back from the year 1995, baby. This base set Clefairy, which I love dearly. It is not a first edition, but it is base set. I love it so much. Probably want to get it graded at some point. It's the one card I probably want graded that I think I could get a good grade on. So, gonna bring back the lovely green wall, and of course, Air Fryer Man to boot.
And I've got 2 more things that I'd like to show off here.
All right.
Please do.
Forgot about. So I have this.
Ooh, baby.
Oh,
Look at all those full arts.
The Crown Zenith complete. It's going to be a little bit hard to see, but this is the complete picture set from Crown Zenith. All 9 of these cards attached to each other to create a full artwork, which I collected all of those at a card show that I went to. So I'm really happy to have that. And then I can't believe I forgot about this, but I did not show y'all the piece de la resistance of my collection. Right here in the slab safe. Zelda music starts playing in the background. Fucking.
Oh, I was gonna say you have a graded card, don't you?
Ooh, you do. Ooh, look at that beauty.
A PSA
10? A
Wow.
PSA 10 Mew EX special illustration rare from Paldean Fates, worth a little over $700.
Oh,
Shit, nice.
Bro's popping off.
I pulled that from a pack and then got it graded the same day. I sent it to PSA, had to wait 4 months to get it back.
4 months.
Yeah, PSA really known for, getting
Speed.
shit done fast. Yeah.
But I got it back. It's a 10, and it's one of my prized possessions.
Hey, if I had anything PSA 10, it would probably be a prized possession too. But I think that point right there there's no better point to end it off on than that point right there with the PSA 10. So, Hunter, before Robert Downey Jr. becomes ever more clear on your screen, and Mega, I just want to thank you guys so much. Fletch, thank you so much for coming on. Finally got you on after trying multiple times to get you on in the past. Your unfortune was apparently our fortune. Hopefully your car gets fixed here very, very soon, man. But everyone, again, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of For the Love of Prod. Join us next Tuesday again for another episode where, as always, I don't know who it's going to be, and neither does anyone else. But make sure you follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify to the podcast as well. Until next time, y'all, thank you again so much, and see ya.